Hi everybody, this is Jeff Gamble, and we're actually coming to you from beautiful Carmel, Indiana. It's about 8 o'clock at night, and told myself we were going to go ahead and film this program, and I actually have a timer so that way I know how long I'm going. So as you can see right off the bat, this is not a motivational speech, it's not professional. The point of this is not really to make an awesome video with cool lighting and everything. The point of this really is to go over a program, or really a process that a lot of people have been asking me about. So to really just start out with, I'm super excited to actually do this training, because 3 years ago I actually wanted to take off and do this, and at that point, A, there wasn't a platform to do it, and B, I wasn't at a point in my life to actually complete it. But it's funny how things keep coming up, and eventually you get focused and get things done. So to start out with, I just really wanted to thank everybody for tuning in and joining in. Today, basically what I want to talk about is really this process, and really it's the process of achievement. And I read this really cool book by this guy by the name of David Byrd. Actually, I read a couple of his books. One of them is The Tripping Point in Leadership, How to Overcome Organizational Apathy, basically how not to be lazy and kind of move forward. And then his second book, and just to ask everybody a question, are you ready? Do you want to achieve next level success? And that doesn't necessarily mean super success. It just means, do you want to break through to the next level? And it says to reach the next level, there's certain things you need to do. And I love his definition of achievement, and I'm just going to read it to you guys. Achievement is a really simple process. To achieve, all you need to do is simply find the right things to do, and then do them consistently over a sustained period of time. And he said, really the reason most people don't succeed is simply because they don't find the right things, or they don't do the right things over a sustained period of time. And it says why. It's not because they don't necessarily know how to do it. It's just they never have anybody bring it to them and then stick with it. And what we really wanted to do is, I saw this program, and I've done a few boot camps using pieces of this program, and I finally split it out into a program where every single day there's about 5 to 10 minutes over a 30, 60, or 90-day period of time. It's really just whatever you want to plug into. And what it helps you do is daily move through a process that helps you crystallize exactly what you want. Now, I will tell you, I'm by no means perfect in this system. I'm actually growing and learning the system as well, but one of the things that I've learned is, if you want to get great at something, start teaching it. So this is I would say, my full-on attempt to teach this program. So, with that being said, who is really this video for? The video is really for anybody that wants to achieve. It's not necessarily just for business, because I don't believe money is everything. What I really believe that I'd like to teach everybody is really, it's about balance. It's about having kind of every area of your life really where you want it to be. And I actually took some notes, because I have ADD, aka squirrel disease, which means if I look in any one direction, or something flashes, somebody walks by, or a car drives by, I can move this direction. But I will tell you, during this series, it's going to happen. I'll just jump right back to where we're at. And I hope for everybody that's watching that I can just be real. Like I said, this is not professionally done. I'm by no means perfect, but I do really like this program, and I've really wanted to teach it. I've really wanted to train it, and a lot of people have gotten a lot out of some of the calls we've done, so we decided to do a video series on it as well. So let's talk about balance in the 6 areas. The first one is faith. The first area that I find most people are wanting balance in is faith. The second one is family. Third, finances. Fourth, fitness and health. Fifth, friends and social activities. 6 really comes into like fun, growth, or contribution, doing more, being more. And what I found is, I think really people are sick and tired of, videos and training series always talking about, financial freedom and how everybody's gonna, get rich. And not that I don't believe money isn't important. I like money. I believe sleeping indoors is a good thing. I believe eating is fun. It's better than not eating if you've ever tried it. I don't think most people are looking for necessarily mansions and Ferraris and jets and yachts, and necessarily being full-time beach members, although I think the occasional trip is what people are looking for. But what I really believe is people are looking for balance. And that's what the program is really built to do. So what I'd like to do to start out with is, I've got about 5 minutes, and I'd like to share with you just really quickly, my quick story of, where I was. I grew up in Brownsburg, went to high school, screwed around a lot, did not really get good grades. Some people graduate, magna cum laude. I graduated, thank the Lordy. They just kind of threw me out. My mom was part of the school system, so I'm sure she made a couple phone calls and said, would you please let him leave? For two reasons. First of all, because I was living in her house and she really wanted me out too. But I got out, I went to college, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. But I was introduced to the direct sales industry when I was 17, so I have 20 years around direct sales, and I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money, and I've seen a lot of lifestyle, and I've seen a lot of people who are lost. I saw that there is that 1% that make money, and then there's that 99% that kind of fumble around, and I was one of the fumblers for a long time. And there were certain things that I picked up that I'd like to share with you. So hopefully what I can do is just cut your learning curve down and really crystallize what you want. And what I found is some of you, this program is going to help out with things that have nothing to do really with necessarily maybe your business, but they might help out with other things. So where was I at? About 7-8 years ago, the real estate industry was booming. I got out of school, I went to college, had no idea what I wanted to do. I got into the mortgage business, and I had some fun in the mortgage business. I made some money, and then eventually I found out about this thing called real estate, got into real estate, and about 8 years ago, I was at the very top, and I just wrote notes so that I could keep track of, kind of where I was. We were closing a ton of deals. I mean, I got my income in a month over $40,000, which is, pretty good. I was 100% focused on it. I felt I had a great career. I had an awesome girlfriend at this point. I drove the car that I wanted to drive because I had enough money. We lived in a fabulous neighborhood in the area that I wanted to. I belonged to the gym. It was just a great lifestyle. And then I remember, 2007, the phone calls started coming in and everything started falling apart. And I mean everything. It seemed like one bank closed and then another bank closed and then another friend of mine we'd call, and it wasn't like you drove over and they were like letting people go. I mean, the whole office was closed, the business card was closed, the website was down, just the financial industry crashed. And a lot of you, have been through that or know somebody that's been through it. And my whole income, my whole life was tied to that. So if you lose, basically your income, and then your income kind of helps you pay for the house. So then all of a sudden you're losing the house. And then you go from that to losing the car. And then you kind of lose, track of what you're doing, and it's just frustrating, and you end up having all those arguments because, lack of finances does not do great things to your relationships. I basically, in 1 year, life turned completely upside down and lost everything. So there I was, trying to figure out, okay, well, what's next, and what are my options? My options are to go back to school, and everybody that I saw, I had a lot of my friends are like, well, I'm going to go back to school, and I'm like, man, going back to school, getting yourself back in debt to then go out and try this whole thing again, what industry is really safe? Everybody thought, oh, it's going to be, teaching is going to be safe, or maybe it's healthcare, and those are great things. Maybe I should go into the education field, period, because education seems to have a lot of money, but, and looking at how much debt everything was in, I was like, man, I don't really know what to do. But I really like the idea of building a business. I like to be an entrepreneur, and that's really what I wanted to do. So what this video is really about is kind of, how to be an entrepreneur, how to go that path. And what we're going to do is put together a program so on a daily basis you're going to be able to walk through these steps. My story kind of continues in this process of getting into direct sales and basically floundering around. I was one of those grinders. I kind of made fun of the people on the outside that were grinding in the real world, and then I realized that I was in the industry grinding, and I was pointing my finger at people in the job world going, man, I wouldn't want to do that. And then people in the job world were pointing back and go, you actually are working harder than we are, and we make about the same amount of money. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think you're right. So eventually I came across this program, this book, and we've been able to use this process. And really what I want to do in our next video is explain the process, or really the difference between some of the skills you need to learn as opposed to the growth process. And what we found is the skills you need to learn is really the how-to, and the how-to is about 20% of what you need to know. The growth process, which a lot of people don't even know exists, or maybe came across it by accident, really needs to be about 80%. And we're going to go into detail in that in the next video, but what I was able to do is I was able to find a way out. And for those of you who are looking for a way out, maybe looking for a way to turn things around and change things, hopefully we're going to be able to provide you that with this program. So I just appreciate everybody for tuning in. what I want to tell you is unlike the FBI, we do want you to copy this. We do want you to redistribute this, and we want you to do more than just learn. We want you to use this program to earn. So with that, we will cut this video here short and join us tomorrow.